It's time for another edition of BNN After Dark with Winston Venable, John Mallory, and B.J. Rains. BNN After Dark is exclusively for subscribers of Bronco Nation News and is presented by Circa Sports. Check out Stadium Swim and Circa Sports at Circa Resort and Casino on your next trip to Las Vegas. Now here's Winston, Johnny, and BJ with another edition of BNN After Dark, presented by Bronco Nation News.
How are we doing, folks? Welcome on into the Season 1 finale of BNN After Dark. We are making that announcement tonight that we're going to I'd like to keep it going, and I guess we can say that we'll have at least one more time. The two of these guys will be together on Saturday. We'll discuss that maybe at some point during the show here, but at least for the regular weekly shows with football season coming to an end, we're going to call this the end of Season 1, and we thought it would be a good time to come together and just kind of talk about Season 1 and wrap it up. And we got the news about Bush Hamdan to talk about. We had some stuff from the bowl game. I'm down here in Frisco today. We want to show some highlights and some things about that, and got a lot going on. So Winston, Johnny, appreciate you guys, man. How we doing?
Hey, all I got to say is Peyton who, Eli who, we're coming Saturday. We're coming, Johnny and I. I mean, I just did it. I'll take a shot. Maybe it'll create a little love, but hey, I'm excited to get down with old Johnny ball game on Saturday and do our best impression or create our own platform there and see what we got against the old Manning bros.
Yeah, and BJ, fill them in real quick, more over on that. But yeah, me and Winston Venable during this bowl game, John Madden and Pat Summerall, Kirk Herbstreit and Brent Musburger, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, ball game and Winston Venable talking during a Boise State bowl game. Can't miss stuff, BJ. It's bittersweet. It's the season finale, right? It's going to be a killer episode. I know that, but obviously a little bittersweet. BNN After Dark, BJ, has been such a big success, I know, for you and your company, Winston and myself's pocketbook. We love it as well. And let's kick some ass, guys, on the final episode tonight. And Winston, my biggest takeaway, BJ, from BNN After Dark Season 1 is Winston Venable. He's let everybody in your BNN community kind of get to know who he is. Like, most people know Winston Venable. He might be the most violent player in the history of Boise State football, right? Give me a player that was more violent on the field than Winston. But you see him at BNN After Dark, and I just want to hug him. I want to put him in a headlock. I just want to, and
watch BJ, out, Johnny. You don't want that, brother.
You've done a good job, BJ, of kind of making this team work. And
it's been a lot
Winston,
of fun.
Bittersweet episode tonight, but I'm pumped.
I think my takeaway, and it was like 5 seconds into episode 1, we found out not to call him Winnie.
There you go.
Call him Stone. If you want to have a nickname for Winston and you think you're friends with him, call him Stone.
There you go. I think I think one of the cool things is just how organically it happened, right? We had that pregame show and
season preview show. Yep.
Stuck on for a little bit, and next thing you know, BJ does what he does best and gets his vision rolling and makes it something that we can continue to do. So it's been fun, man. And
I always think it's going away temporary. I think we can all brainstorm. We've talked about it, whether we want to make it a month, maybe still try to keep it going once a month or something in the off season, or there's got to be some way to keep this going. And because it has been a lot of fun. And I do think we got the three of us have pretty good chemistry. And I've thoroughly, there's Johnny, I'm sure there's times where you have to do the show and wake up on your days with Prater and you're not really feeling it. And Winston, you go to the office at times. And, I've got times where I don't want to wake up and do the shows, but I've genuinely looked forward to 8:00 on Wednesdays when we've done this, and it's been fun to get together. And I guess I'll say this. I'll go ahead and show this first. This is what we're talking about for on Saturday. So you can see the screen here. I'll just make it full screen. Basically, you're just going to go to playback.tv/Bronco Nation News. It's pretty simple. Playback.tv/Bronco Nation News. And you can basically watch the game on Saturday with other Boise State fans. There's a chat on the right side of the screen you can see there, and you can chat with other fans in real time, and then you'll be able to watch the game here. You just have to authenticate your cable provider, and the cool part is going to be, in the second quarter, Winston and Johnny are going to jump in the second quarter and essentially do a Manning cast in the second quarter. And you can listen to Johnny and Winston talk about the game in the second quarter over the ESPN broadcast. So if you want to get that done now and get all your cable authenticated and all that, this is totally free, 100% free. Just go put your playback.tv/Bronco Nation News, create a little quick username, authenticate your cable provider, and then come back and watch the game on Saturday. And I know both Johnny and Winston are agreed to do this in the second quarter and try it out. And I do think it's going to be fun, guys.
Yeah, it's a rare occasion for me to get to – I'm not saying we're calling the game because we're going to let Dave Neal and Deuce McAllister do their thing. But for Bronco Nation, I have at my disposal the running backs coach of this team last year, a Fiesta Bowl winning NFL playing analyst in Winston Venable. When they run the ball up the gut and get -1 yards, I'm going to ask Winston, what were they looking at? What did the defense disguise, or what did the defense do to take that away? There's a touchdown on every play. You just got to find it. So I can't wait to bring Winston into the conversation in live action and say, Winston, why did that slant pass not work? Why did the quarterback get sacked there? Who broke down? What happened on that? And I know Winston very well now. He's going to give tip-top analysis. And BJ, if people aren't going to that for the third quarter,
second quarter.
Second quarter, well, then shame on them, dude. We're going to bring it. Right, Winnie?
Oh, man, you just had to go there. But you know what? I gave you the pass, and I'll give it to you again, Johnny. You got another pass, man. Don't do that on Saturday, though, bro. Come on, man. Come on. No, I'm looking forward to it, man. I've always, when BJ asked me to jump on some of this Wednesday action, when it started Wednesday mornings, it was one of those things that, I've always enjoyed speaking. I've always enjoyed talking to, getting back to the communities. I mean, there were several reasons why. It was a right fit for me to jump on with BJ, but I've gotten feedback that maybe one day I'm a colored guy or doing some stuff like this, and what a great opportunity for me to get in front of the mic, talk a little ball, and have some practice, man. So I appreciate both you guys and the opportunities that we're doing. I mean, I think I'll continue to grow my own personal stuff here, and I appreciate BJ putting things together for us, man.
Yeah. And so it's free. Come on Saturday, watch the game, and you can do it on the laptop is the best experience. You can do it on your phone as well, but they say that if you have a laptop, they're working on an app for your TV, but it's not set yet. So grab your laptop, watch the second quarter with us. And again, it's just playback.tv/Bronco Nation News. We'll email that and push it on social media as well the next couple of days. We got the Bush Hamdan hire to talk about, but I wanted to start, guys, with for at least a couple minutes here talking about this bowl game and in more particular the team being down here. And they're having a lot of fun, man. And you got the events going on. Winston, I know the Fiesta Bowl, you probably don't get to do all the fun Topgolf type events when you're getting ready to play in a Fiesta Bowl, do you? But what was the other bowl you were in? I forget.
The Vegas Bowl versus Utah.
Was that a shot at him?
No, I just forgot.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll go ahead and hit.
Was that the Vegas one where
that was one of the Boise State Broncos who just came off of an undefeated season, go and lose one game. I mean, if you like, we've talked to all the boys that have been on BNN After Dark. I mean, we felt like even with that one loss, we were a top team in the country, and we were ready to play. I think Utah felt disrespected that they were in the Vegas Bowl. Boise State felt disrespected they were in the Vegas Bowl. They were undefeated. We had a one loss, and there's the matchup. And let me tell you, we put on a show, and you still do cool things at the Fiesta Bowl. I remember going to Fogo de Chao, and they had a whole article on how much steak we ate. And there was, we were down on the strip of Scottsdale Roll Road having fun with the boys. I mean, plenty of fun, and then go take care of TCU. So that opportunity was great. You even see it on Twitter, like a guy like Aaron Tevis was mentioning today about the tension that was created by all the coaches in Vegas were out doing their thing, or they had a coaches event. And here you got Utah at the Hard Rock Hotel sitting right next to Boise State. Literally, you could touch these guys. So they put 100 Boise State players and 100 Utah players next to each other. And here goes like a magic show and then a dance off where Doug Martin's competing dancing against Utah. And we talked about it, but the tension in that room was high. And I mean high. And next thing you know, I mean, it's almost like a fight's breaking out. Aaron Tevis spoke on it today on Twitter. It was about to be a 200-person all-out brawl. John Johnson's on the top of a bar countertop trying to calm people down, putting water on people because it's like, hey, dude, we got a game. But what an awful choice by the Hard Rock in that bowl situation because, dude, it was going down.
Well, I'm telling you, man, I had flashbacks to that and thoughts of that today because none of the coaches were there again. And you had this event called, do either of you know what foaling is?
I saw it today, BJ, on your clips.
It's a combination of bowling and cornhole and football, I guess. And you basically try to knock down bowling pins with a football, and then you take them off like cornhole, and you get down to the end. And they had a competition, Boise State versus North Texas, and it was an offensive player, a defensive player, a special teams player, and a coach. And so each team got together with those guys. And it was hilarious because, the quarterback's like 30 years old for North Texas. So there's a part in the clip where Skinner's like, where the 30-year-old at? Where the 30-year-old at? He's like, is that the 30-year-old? So you're going to hear that in the clip here. So it was Jonah Dalmas, J.L. Skinner, Talon Green, and DeAndre Pierce was serving as the coach. So just kind of reporting in Bronco Nation News. Since we were down here today, I wanted to play this. It's about 2 minutes, and then we can talk about it. But, yeah, Boise State did win the foaling contest today, but here's how it went down.
It was good. It's good to have the guys out here having some fun during the bowl game. We got to compete against North Texas, which was really cool. Both teams surrounding each other's, side of the group, and great competition. Just got a little bit of a taste of what Saturday night's going to be like. So it was all around fun and a good time.
This was Markel Reed and a couple guys getting the dance moves on. I thought this was funny. This was the practice when they were going against each other, talking trash. They took down Tyreek Jones' team.
It was fun, just trying to throw the ball, football and bowling at the same time. So, but yeah.
What did you think of Jonah with the winning shot?
Come on, man. Come on. Yeah, Jonah was struggling, but it's all right. We stay in the fight, man. But it was fun to watch.
What's this experience like for you guys? You didn't get this the last couple of years to be able to have events like this and stuff and be able to have this bowl experience together.
Right, man. It's amazing. It's great, man. Just hanging out with the guys, just being around the guys a lot, and through these events of, the bowl game and just spending the last couple of times with the guys. So.
Here comes the third one after a shot here by Dan.
I think my only shot, I couldn't lob it. I feel like I was more accurate when I was trying to really throw the ball. So that was my strategy, is just to zing it in as fast as I could. And if it made good contact, then it's going to knock the pins over.
Look at this. You got both sides. North Texas is right there. That JL, some of those guys are over there pretty close. They're having to kind of, the security guy, Beck, comes over. He was having to hold people back a little bit, Winston.
Yeah, we're very competitive. So, I don't know. It just came down to that situation when there was one pin left. It was my throw, and so I took my best shot, hit it right on the dot, and everybody went hype. So it was good. It was good.
Guys, well done. Great job, guys. Well done. First ball. Let's go. Second ball.
All right, there you go. There's your report from on the scene in Frisco today. But yeah, they when they hit that shot, man, some of those guys were up there pretty close to and they had the people from the bowl were kind of getting in the middle there, Winston.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, that is you're walking a fine line creating those situations for dudes that are competitors, and it doesn't matter if you're playing in a Fiesta Bowl or whatever game. You're talking about
Frisco Bowl.
It doesn't matter, man. You're talking about 18 to 22-year-olds that are highly competitive. Testosterone levels are at the max, and they want to win, man. And I mean, I was one of those guys. I had some, I would talk, and I know plenty of my teammates would have some fun talking, and You never know where that leads, man. And that's what happened in Vegas at the Hard Rock, because a little talk here and there, and then that talk gets a little louder. And next thing you know, somebody's gonna get in somebody's face. And yeah, watching that video though, it's awesome, man, because that's what, as hard as these guys work, waking up in the mornings, they can go out and enjoy that moment. I mean, I think there's all this outside, I don't want to say noise, but is that a big bowl game for them? Hey, man, these guys are going to get into an environment, and the coaches have done a good job with their experience playing at the Star and the practice facility there and doing stuff like that. That's like, those are some of those memories you take and you tell, and shout out to my boy Jonah. If I do recall, BJ, I remember you were there last year. I feel like Jonah was one of the leaders at the go-kart place.
He might have been, yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that dude just crushes bowl events,
Clutch.
Shout out to Jonah.
You need your kicker to be clutch. And I don't care if it's making a salami sandwich, throwing a football at a bowling pin, or kicking.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm getting an Amber Alert. Check that out. I'll be on that. I don't care if it's making a field goal. You want your kicker to have the ice water in the veins, is a cliche. And Winston, you said you remembered that last year with Jonah. We saw that clip right there. Jonah Dalmas coming through in the clutch. If by some chance Boise State wins the Frisco Bowl on a last-second field goal, which, by the way, I don't think Jonah Dalmas has had that moment yet. A walk-off field goal. He could have had it, Winston, against Oklahoma State. That it was nicked. But yeah. Maybe it's this week, maybe not. But it's good to know that Jonah Dalmas is clutch in more ways than just as a kicker. Because I think, Winston, it's a psychological deal, and Jonah has proven that every which way.
And I'll say this first. I'll say this real quick, Winston. The kickers always get the crap for being the kicker and whatever, but it seems, at least on Boise State the last several years, they've had some pretty athletic. I mean, Tyler Rasa was a great baseball player. It seems like some of these kickers they've had have actually been some really good athletes of late.
Dude, it's crazy, man. I mean, so everybody, and I always got to refer back to my time and stories and whatnot. But, you go back to Kyle Brotzman, and that dude got a bad rap because the one or two kicks in Nevada, but he was like the NCAA leading scorer.
Ever. And he was the punter.
Dude, Kyle Brotzman was the real deal, man. All right?
He was, man. He was.
And you like you mentioned, you got guys like Tyler Rasa, and I mean, I got a lot of love for that dude. He is one of the most persistent athletes that I've ever seen. If you watch his Instagram or Twitter, that dude is out on the blue and in the indoor, persistent, trying to make that next team and stick up with his craft. I'm really proud of that dude. But the list goes on, man. I mean, Eric Sachs comes out there from, transfers into Boise State, goes out there his first game against Florida State, hits 5 field goals, right? Shout out to the specialists, man. And let me prove something to you really quick. I know Fresno State beat Boise, but 2 Fresno State field goals, straight up, like, kicker is kicking the laces, man. Shout out to my man Connor Riddle for understanding how to spin that bad boy, get that thing right for Jonah, and have success, because it goes unnoticed sometimes, man. And Fresno State, man, their holder. I'm no talking crap here, but you got to spin that ball for your kicker, and that's a hard job, man. And a guy like Connor Riddle and Jonah Dalmas have that thing figured out, and it's not easy, man. It's a high pressure, high stress, and the operation's got to be smooth. So I'm glad we're talking about it, because specialists don't get enough love, man. They don't.
Winston, I feel like we buried the lead to the show here. We forgot to point out the Christmas tree in Johnny's background here.
Dude, Johnny has a whole new background. Christmas tree's a good look. He's out of the garage. What do you got? What's the change up here, Johnny? What do we got today? Snowman to your right-hand shoulder there. I mean, you're crushing it, dude.
We know it was his mom that decorated. It wasn't him.
No. In our house, it's me. It's my longtime girlfriend. It's her daughter, and it's my mother. And we have a good thing going. And I must credit, like, all this whole motif, Winston, And BJ, you probably can relate as Winston can. I had nothing to do with any of this, man. My girlfriend does a fantastic job of keeping with the seasons. If this was a Halloween edition, you'd see pumpkins up. We always do that here. Typically, as you guys know, I'm in the garage, but dude, it's just too cold, man. So I got the pass. I got the hall pass to do the show in here tonight, and I'm happy. It's comfortable. I got my Biff Tannen t-shirt on. I'm not bundled up. I'm excited.
You got a better Wi-Fi signal too, so we're happy to have you on here. I do want to talk about the Bush Hamdan hire, and I do want to maybe talk about this game actually, in particular as well. But first, do want to thank a couple of our sponsors and make sure everyone's having a Cutwater canned cocktail. If you're not, go get one. More than 30 flavors, pre-mixed premium cocktails. You can get one at your local gas station or grocery store, and they're the sponsor of our studio, so we appreciate their support. Rowpaint.com, our title sponsor, they're looking to fill some openings they have this winter. So BNN15 is the promo code. Anywhere in the Treasure Valley, BNN15, you get 15% off your interior painting of your home. So if you're looking to do some touch-up or some painting, use the promo code BNN15 at rowpaint.com. You will not be disappointed. Lithia Ford of Boise, so happy with our F-150 that we purchased from them. So check them out, lithiafordboise.com. You can see their whole inventory of vehicles online. Go test drive and make the purchase, and you'll be on your way. So they got that NIL deal with Riley Smith, and they're big supporters of Boise State. So make sure you check out Lithia Ford of Boise. And Idaho Central Credit Union sponsor our road trip coverage. Have me down here in Frisco, Texas for the bowl game. So make sure you check out iccu.com for all your banking needs. You only have to go into the branch one time when you sign up for your account. It's all can be done on your computer, on your phone. It's so easy, and we're grateful for the support of Idaho Central Credit Union, and we appreciate them for sponsoring us here at Bronco Nation News. Let's go to Bush Hamdan, and then we can finish back up with the bowl game. That was kind of the news that's going on that I know a lot of people are listening and wanting to hear about. I think it's a pretty significant hire. There's some trolls on social media that don't like the hire. They thought that it's not as sexy. I saw someone actually saying a Kirby Moore hire would have been a flashier hire than a Bush Hamdan. I'm not sure if I'm ready to go there, but $825,000 2 years. So he gets $400,000 the first year, $425,000 the second year. It's the most money ever dished out by Boise State in athletic department history for a non-head coach. So the highest assistant coach in any sport in Boise State history. The previous high was a couple of the football coaches, were making like $330,000 as coordinators. But it's a big time thing. And we'll tell you what, guys, to tell you how much Bush Hamdan wanted this job, he was making $550,000 at Missouri as the quarterback's coach. So he took a $150,000 pay cut to come back as the OC at his alma mater. I guess, Winston, we'll start with you, man. I know you guys didn't overlap, barely missed, right? But what's your thoughts on Bush coming back and as OC and quarterback coach here?
Yeah, well, I will tell you, I will tell BNN After Dark, and I got to keep it somewhat PG here, and that's all I can say, and you'll catch my drift. But as a spring transfer in 2008, I did have a visit here. I had two hosts for my visit. One was Jarvis Hodge, and one was Bush Hamdan. And let me tell you,
they're all connected, BJ. They're all related.
It wouldn't be a BNN After Dark with a story about something with Winston Venable here. So what do you got on Bush?
You guys covered, man. Come on. But I will tell you this. Coach Pete put me on with BJ and put me on with Jarvis Hodge, and I would say that both those dudes did a hell of a job recruiting me. Obviously, Bush was a player at the time. I was 21 years old at the time, and I got to know downtown Boise, Idaho pretty well. And I ended up being a Boise State commit, and I had a great time here. And I would throw that shout out to my man Bush. And
so do we have Bush? Do we have Bush Hamdan to partially thank for you committing to Boise State?
I'll throw it out there, man, for sure. For sure. He quality dude, quality person. Showed me a great time on my visit. It was interesting because I got to know him, and then he did get to play a couple snaps in that game. And I got to hear Boise State. And that's when I really knew I was going to commit. But I remember going out with some of the guys, and they really took me in. And Bush Hamdan was one of those guys that took me in. And that's him as a player. Obviously, that was a different time for him, a different lifestyle for both of us. But he does a great job. He's a people person. He's a relationship guy. And, you know, I've gotten to know him a little bit after that, just reconnect in 2019 when, be honest with you, they whooped us up, you know, when we were playing Washington, Coach Pete's last game. And I got to talk with Bush and reconnect with him and actually share some of those stories about getting recruited and him being a part of that. So I like the hire, man. I mean, people talk about, you know, staying within the family and getting outside the box. Like, you got to know what's going on in the building as far as what Boise State means to alumni, what it means to be like, for instance, man, I mean, like I've said last week or so, BJ, I mean, I've gotten a rap for being a running back coach and not having that experience, but there is something to having alum. There's something that they know what this place is all about. So it speaks volumes to be able to have guys that have great experience like Bush does come back into the program and give back because they've been there, they've done it. And that shit means a lot. It means a lot to players. They understand what it means to be a Bronco, and not everybody understands that. People that are outside, media, other people that have gone to different universities, played, they don't get what it means to be a Bronco. Bush Hamdan knows what it means to be a Bronco, and it doesn't matter. Like, take some experience away, and he has it. It means more than people understand, and that's why a guy like Jerron Johnson, who's never coached football, a guy like myself who's never coached at that level, get these opportunities. That's why Matt Miller's there. That's why Nate Potter's there. That's why Andy Avalos is there. Let's be real, man. I mean, Brian Harsin went to Boise State. Andy Avalos went to Boise State. How many guys are through there? There's a bunch of success that comes through that program. You're not going to get a better guy as far as go get some big-time dude that knows nothing about Boise State. I bet you it's not going to be a good season like it has been. I mean, I'm just saying, man. It means a lot to bring a guy like Bush in here.
BJ, holy shit, man. Now we know what it's like to be in a huddle before a game when Winston Venable is in the middle of that huddle pumping you up before the opening kickoff, right? I'm not even a Boise State fan, and I want to run through a wall type of thing right now. I'll tell that I talked to Marty Tadman. We had Marty Tadman on the show today. And I asked him about, you know, you played with Bush for 3 years in the OKG culture. That's what I call it. OKG culture. Our kind of guys. Chris Peterson had that at Boise State. He brought that to Washington as well and went to several big-time bowl games. And Bush Hamdan was a part of both OKG cultures, right? He gets it. And I talked about this on the air today. Like, I'm peanut butter and jealous of Boise State having that culture of it's just our kind of guy. You got to know it to know it. And Bush Hamdan he's taking less money for way more responsibility, way more pressure being an OC, play calling OC. Let's not forget, Andy Avalos is an offensive-minded head coach. He gives his OC massive responsibility.
You muted yourself, Johnny.
Sorry, man. Andy Avalos is an offensive-minded coach. He gives his staff, his offensive coordinator, his offensive staff, massive responsibility to get the job done. He wants the OKG culture. Our kind of guy. Marty Tadman, as I said, we had him on today. He was saying he loves it that he is a Bronco. He's made his home in Boise. He's from SoCal, like Winston Venable. Tadman Financial. Give him a plug. And I bet Marty Tadman has an access card to the damn Blameyer. I bet a lot of the ex-players do. Yeah, come in whenever the hell you want. Be around the building. We want our OKGs here. And again, Tadman was like, I love the fact that several players I played with, several men that coached me are still in the building every day. And it gives me that confidence that I know the program is going in the right direction, regardless if they're in the Fiesta Bowl or the Frisco Bowl. It means something. And that's what this hire for me, as a sports radio guy, it's not necessarily about Bush Hamdan's reputation or, people in Seattle are like, oh, the guy sucked for us as the OC at Washington. Well, you went to the Rose Bowl one of the 2 years Bush was your OC. You went to a Rose Bowl. That doesn't happen to everyone. Ray, get out of here. My cat's bugging me, man. The OKG culture that still exists with this hire, it means something to everybody who holds this program dear. And you know what? I can't wait to see what Bush is able to do here, BJ. It seems like Winston and all these ex-players, teammates, they love the fact that Bush is coming back and that they did keep it in the family. A lot of programs try and do keep it in the family, and it doesn't work. I've never seen a program more successfully keep things in the family than Boise State University. And here they go again with Bush Hamdan. He's got Talon Green, as you know very well. Winston, you were in the building with Talon for a year and a half. You know what he's capable of, and I'm certain you're probably confident in what a guy like Bush Hamdan is going to be able to do with a guy like Talon Green. I'd say for Boise State, it might not be the sexiest hire ever, but it's an OKG culture hire. And if that doesn't pump your nads, Bronco Nation, I don't know what will. There's not Moors growing on trees. Oh, there's another Kirby. Oh, there's a Kellen. I personally think that Kirby Moore is going to be the next head coach at Fresno. It might be 1 year. It might be 2 years. It might be 4 years. I think when Tedford leaves the Valley, I think Kirby Moore's the first guy they're going to look at. He has a good gig. All these other Ryan Dinwiddie just won a Grey Cup, BJ. He's making $500,000 a year, and he's the boss. I mean, Mike Sanford Jr. would have been sexy. I love him. What's going on? Mom, come on, get out of here. I'm having fun tonight.
Meatloaf.
Mom, come here, Mom. Come here. All right, she doesn't want to come. She just wants my boys.
I just don't know. I mean, Bush Hamdan got beat out as a senior quarterbback. I mean, what are we supposed to make of that?
To Kellen Moore.
Yeah, well,
he got beat out by Kellen. Whoa.
Those guys are. I bet you got some people that say that Bush Hamdan is just as smart up top as old Kellen Moore, and that's what who knows how much Bush Hamdan helped Kellen Moore develop as a senior leader in that position room.
Good point.
Right? I mean, there's all sorts of stuff there, man. There's a reason that Bush Hamdan as a player had the respect that he had. And hey, Johnny, I know you're boys with Kells. I think that's a great question. What kind of impact did Bush have as a senior leader in a position room as a guy that didn't play? Because that, like, once we, I've said it before, some of those things you don't bring that up. It's unnoticed, but I've had guys that.
I'm texting Kellen that question right now.
Go. I've had guys that
by the end of this show,
me in, like a guy like Hunter White and players that taught me the X's and O's of how to be a nickel that didn't necessarily play as much as I did, but helped me develop who I was. And Bush is that type of guy. So, I mean, like you said, I think having a guy within the family, it's always great. There's always a good deal with the community there, a good deal with the alumni. Some of that stuff matters. Ultimately, what do we got to do, BJ, John? We got to win football games, man. So, none of it really matters, right? I mean, it's a high enough and elite enough job that a guy like Coach Avalos is not just, you're not doing people favors. And that's more or less what I'm trying to say. Like, you keep things within a family for a reason, because it's a special place that not many people know about, but there's no favors at this level. There's no, oh, he's a Bronco. No,
family reunion. No family reunion.
It doesn't work like that. This is where if you don't win, you're getting fired type of deal. So you better be very cautious with who you're bringing in. You have to have ties. You have to have connection. It's got to work with the community, all those things. But there's, to Bronco Nation, there's no like, oh, we're helping a guy out. If Jabril Frazier gets promoted to be the edge coach, it's because that dude's ready to be an edge coach. It's not because he's a Bronco. Yeah, it's a plus that he's a Bronco. And it's a bonus that he's a Bronco, but it's not like You don't do favors at this level. You do that shit in high school, or you take your boy on and give him a job at the freaking business that you own. Not college football. This stuff is way too big time to be taking chances on. Oh, that's my guy because he played at Boise. Yeah, you better be bringing some other stuff to the table as a Bronco to become that guy. And I think that was my point when talking about a Jerron Johnson or myself, or bringing a Miller back or whatever. It's like, these guys get it. They understand, and they bring way more to the table than some other guys out there that might be a sexier hire. It's like,
OKG.
It's not about being sexy. It's about being right.
OKG, Winston. OKG.
Great stuff on that, Winston. Hey, if you're looking for a new job, why don't you become a truck driver? Check out TCS, Transportation Compliance Service, transcomservice.com. They can help you every step of the way and get the permits you need to get out there driving an Amazon truck or the truck on your screen or any kind of truck driving. Transcomservice.com can help you out. If you're looking for a dentist, check out BoiseDentistryCo.com. Full family dentistry. Your kids, your grandparents, the whole family can go in there. They'll stack you back to back. You do it all at once. You don't have to go back for 6 months. Full family dentistry, and just great, friendly staff. Make sure you check them out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. If you're looking to lower your insurance rates for your business, check out United Commercial Insurance, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. They can make business insurance easy. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. So check them out today. If you're looking to save some money on your business insurance, a quick call can save you a lot of money. And, of course, Ridley's Family Markets, ShopRidleys.com, 13 Idaho locations. They got all the highest technology to make your shopping experience easy and enjoyable. The at-home shopping, the Skip app, the home delivery. Find the location near you. I know Johnny's a big fan of the Cuna location. You can check it out at shopridleys.com. And the Blue and Orange store, free shipping, any order over $40. Check it out if you're looking for some Christmas gifts. Perfect time. Get them some new Boise steak gear. The Blue and Orange store.com is where you need to go. Free shipping, any order over $40, or you can just check them out on the second floor there at the Boise Town Square Mall at Pro Image. Let's hear a quick bite from Andy Avalos. He talked today about the hire of Bush Hamdan as offensive coordinator. He held a kind of impromptu Zoom press conference. Me and Bob Beeler are the only two media members that are down here at the Frisco Bowl. So with some of the media members back in Boise, they decided to do it on Zoom real quick. So here's kind of the opening statement, so to speak, of Andy Avalos talking about the hiring, responding to my question about the hiring of Bush Hamdan.
Yeah, no question, BJ. I'll start off by saying this. This is an exciting time for us for a lot of different reasons. Number one, the opportunity we have this week to be with our team and to play in this bowl game, and as well as the things going on. We told Bronco Nation we were going to be diligent. We told our family here we're going to be diligent with finding a leader that fit a certain mold. Number one, fits us here, fits our personnel, the pieces we have in place, and through the process of talking to people and things like that, it was very clear that, Bush brings something to the table that a lot of people don't. And there's a lot of very qualified people out there, but today we're very excited to announce Bush as our offensive coordinator, and to get them back to Boise, to bring him back home here, where obviously he played college football and got his degree, and to have his family, to have Britta and their children come back to Boise. As we went through this process, it was very evident. And as we know, being around Bush throughout this profession here, I mean, we work together. It's been years now, but it's unbelievable the things that he's been able to accomplish, the things he's been able to grow in. He is a great leader that's proven of young men and leading men around him. He is an unbelievable teacher. The way he communicates, the progressions that he teaches within. And we're talking about the development of the quarterback, the implementation of an offense, the ability to put an offense together and build a game plan. He's done this at a very high level. And that experience, and again, it's not just the experience and what he's done, but how he does it is what excites us. And we'll be able to bring an offensive coordinator here that can create and continue to build on the standard that we've created here on the offensive side of the ball. That comes with a certain level of confidence. That's the most important thing for our team, for our players, for our family. And that confidence brings a mentality. And ultimately, as we went through this process, it was all about finding the right fit for our family here in terms of a person, their ability within the profession to lead and implement.
Well, there he is, Andy Avalos. The rest of that press conference is up on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel if you want to go watch the whole press conference. I know, Johnny, you guys aired it on your show today as well. Somebody was asking here who leaked it because Andy said he wanted to announce it after the bowl game. Nobody leaked it. I think yesterday there was just so much excitement, and you could tell they were probably close. I think Andy probably just realized why wait, and maybe the paperwork came back, Winston, or maybe it was official. I mean, I think ideally they really just said they wanted to have it done before the bowl game. They never said that they wouldn't announce it until after the bowl game. They just said they wanted to have it done, by signing day. They wanted to have it done by signing day next week. So I guess they just had it done and figured make a little splash this week, and then ESPN will be talking about it on the bowl game. And I guess Winston, technically, if he's hired and has filled out the paperwork, he can go out recruiting this week too.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, technically, yeah, and who knows what that process is like. I mean, and I think you just brought up a great point where obviously none of us are in that building and know what Andy's got going on, and JD, and the talks amongst the staff and who they're targeting. I mean, maybe there was a selection down to 3 guys, 2 guys. Maybe Andy got a phone call and said, "Hey, not taking it." And then next thing you know, Bush is the next guy. Who knows, right? I mean, we could do some research. We could go investigate and all that. And it really doesn't matter. What matters is that they do have an OC, and that's a tool. And I don't want to say a tool. When you don't have an OC and they're going on the recruiting visits that they just went on, that's a tough deal, man. That is a freaking tough deal. And in my opinion, they're not telling recruits, hey, we have an OC, we have to announce it later, because that stuff's going to get out, right? So, I mean, I think there was some excitement. I don't think they had their OC figured out. I think something happened, something, paperwork, money, another person opt out. I mean, I'm just speculating here, but when they got their guy, the first thing they want to do for recruiting is announce that they got a guy. Because I'm telling you right now, if I'm a defensive player and I'm getting recruited and they don't have a defensive coordinator, good luck, dude. Like, you can't. What are you going to tell me that makes me feel confident about where we're going? You don't have a defensive coordinator. How am I going to be utilized? Who's going to be my head coach in my defense? So great timing. I mean, it's late, I guess. Signing day is right around the corner, but I just feel like it's one of those deals that, hell yeah, they had to get that out and announced it. I think Bush Hamdan made an official decision, or they made an official decision on him today, and it was like, we need to let all these recruits know that we got a guy. Because
we don't know for sure of the timing. I actually haven't seen, and maybe somebody in the YouTube chat can let us know, or Johnny, maybe you saw, but I don't know. I believe he probably will coach the Mizzou Bowl game. I don't know the answer to that for sure, but I saw the North Texas OC is going to Cal, I believe, but he is staying to coach the bowl game for North Texas. So I haven't seen anything, so that might affect his ability to go recruiting this week for Boise State. But CJ Tiller, the quarterback, Dubar, the running back, they got some big time guys with some Power 5 offers. And somebody did ask, Bush is going to snag some Mizzou commits. Don't know about that at the last minute. Johnny, what do you make of the timing?
Yeah,
of today?
And I like that you brought up CJ Tiller. CJ Tiller right now is sitting on his couch talking to his dad saying, I want to replace Taylon Green. I want that to be the shift over. Well, what type of offense is it going to be? And I have 2 things I wanted to talk to Winston about. First was, great way, eloquent way you put about how this hire needs to affect this recruiting class. I'm also going to ask you, Winston, because you've been a coach not only at this level, but for this team. You've been in that building 75 hours a week for a long time. How is it now?
75.
Shortchanged, right?
Close.
That was on the bye week.
Closer to 100, bro.
Okay. Well, I mean, you have to recruit current players. I saw on Twitter today in the transfer portal, your guys, Winston, Isaiah Banya, looks like he might be going to BYU. Your guy, Tennille Hopper, might be going to Michigan State. So guys have options. Winston, what was the announcement today? of bringing in or announcing Bush Hamdan. I mean, you tell me, and I'm not saying this happened, but does a guy like, I'll just say Taylon Green's dad, somebody else's, Ashton Genty's dad, how much are they interested in who this OC and quarterback coach is going to be? Because let's be honest, we know the landscape right now. Taylon Green, Ashton Genty, they're seeing their boys going into the portal, and it's BYU and Michigan State. Well, what's that mean for us? Hopper's got 1 year to play. I was shocked at that, and good for him. He's a hell of a talent. Good for him. But, Winston, just keeping the players that you currently have, especially the freshman trio, the Texas trio, what's that do, Winston, in making this announcement for the current players on the roster and their parents and their groups and their camp or whatever they call it?
Dude, that is huge. It's big time. Before today, obviously the staff can keep the players engaged, right? Like, let's be real, right? Like, what should the players' main focus be? What should Taylon Green's main focus be?
The Frisco Bowl.
Saturday. Right?
Yep.
But let's be real here, bro. Like, NIL, little carrots dangling in front of you, parents getting contact, coaches reaching out to people
To
you
parents.
may know. Hey,
Yeah.
is this guy comfortable here? What's going on? NIL. The landscape has changed, right? Managing your own roster has become more of a big deal than it ever has. Taking care of your team within has become more of a deal than it ever has. But the conversation that Andy Avalos can have with Taylon Green is different now. He can now say, this is the vision. This is the guy. This is what we're going to do for you. This is what we're going to do for the offense. A day ago, he couldn't do that.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes, man, to be able to tell a guy, hey, this is what your future's looking like. So that's why not only recruits, like you're asking, Johnny, not only just for recruits, but to manage your roster, I wouldn't be surprised if those guys got some question marks. Who's my new coach? Who am I going to be working with? What type of offense? Am I going to have that connection? I'm guessing as soon as Bush Hamdan is allowed to talk to Taylon Green, that conversation's going down. They're getting to know each other. They're building. And even at that point, man, you hope that they're connecting well. You hope that it's a good combo. You hope that they're vibing, because here come the carrots. Here it comes. NIL, boosters. I've got coaches I have obviously connected at several different schools, right? My coaching tree is pretty big now. And I've heard stories, man. It's nuts.
Next season, season 2, episode 1, next year of BNN After Dark, Winston Venable telling us some of those, BJ. And my other quick one for you, Winston, was...
Let me, real quick, Johnny, I'll just jump in here. We do have a tweet from Chris Hummer, who covers, he's a national college football writer for 247 Sports. He says, I'm told Bush Hamdan will not coach in Missouri's bowl game. Head coach Eli Drinkwitz will call the plays against Wake Forest in the Gasparilla Bowl. So if that is the case and Bush Hamdan is not coaching in the bowl game, that would mean that he is able to essentially start recruiting either with in-home visits or just on the phone or whatever. This is an open period this week. So I know some of Boise State's coaches actually are going out on the road down here in Texas, in the evenings and stuff to go see guys. If that is report and that report is true and he's not coaching in the bowl game and is starting his Boise State, tenure right away. That is interesting to note, I guess, a week before signing day.
Yeah. Sorry, Johnny. No, I was just going to say the comfortability, the power, not power, like as a coach, especially a head guy walking into a house, if I don't have that answer, and that's what I feel bad for with these guys last week, it matters, man. It matters, right? But if I don't have a full staff, if I don't have my offensive coordinator, man, I hope you got a mouthpiece on you and you know how to talk, because, dude, you can't. It's very black and white. You're gonna get in an uncomfortable spot because the parents, the players, gonna say, who's your guy? And you can't say who
They
your
say
guy is.
that.
What kind
They
of
say that.
offense you going to run? How's my guy going to be used?
You don't have the answers. So what a tough position that Boise State's been in. And I'll be honest with you, man, and we're still there, right? We still got a strength staff to figure out. We still got an edge coach to figure out. Who knows what's going to happen? But at least on that offensive side, those guys can go in recruiting in Texas right now, tonight, tomorrow, the next night, and say, now they can kind of say, hey, we're excited. We got our guy. This is what he's all about, blah, blah, blah. That's not something they were able to do a week ago. And it's big time.
And Winston, I think you were pretty instrumental in Ashton Genty coming here, right? I think I saw that on Twitter a little bit. What's it like? For you as a running back coach, you've spent a lot of time on mom and dad's couch there. When you can show up with the head coach or you can show up with the OC, I'm sure that just does instrumental things as far as getting – you almost need to recruit mom and dad more than Ashton Genty, Winston, right?
That's what it's about, man.
That's crazy.
That's what it's about.
And now they can do all that. Like you're saying, I can imagine you as a running back coach sitting on the couch and dad says, well, who's your OC going to be? I want to know. I know you're not allowed to say it publicly, but I want to know who it's going to be. And you might be like, dude, I really don't know. And that doesn't sound good either. You got to still convince them. I can promise you it's Boise State. Look at our track record of running backs. We put several into the NFL, first-round draft picks we've had, Pro Bowlers, Super Bowl champions. The mindset in the running game for this program won't change regardless of the coach. But it's a lot easier for you to say, here is the OC, and here's what we're going to do. The one thing I wanted to ask you, Winston, was I noticed at Andy Avalos' presser today, he never mentioned that him and Bush were teammates, okay? And this is where I want to ask you, because in 2004, Bush Hamdan was a red shirt, just a slappy probably. I don't know what red shirts are. And Andy was a fifth-year senior. Is that hard? You've been in that position. You were Winston Venable, and I'm sure there were a lot of guys who were just red shirts coming out of high school. Like, I know you're in the family and the brotherhood, but you guys form cliques, I'm sure, and stay with people your age. Like, do you think that's maybe why? Because Andy talked about when Andy was the DC at Oregon and Bush was the OC at Washington. They had some battles in a nasty rivalry there, but he didn't mention that they were teammates for 1 year. And I wanted to ask you what the relationship typically is like for a fifth-year senior versus a red shirt. Opposite sides of the ball, too.
Yeah, you know what, Johnny? I've been blessed
together at Sac State, by the way, 1 year too in 2011.
Yes, and he mentioned that, but he didn't mention they were teammates for 1 year.
Yeah, I've been blessed, Johnny, just with my upbringing and my dad that played 12 years in the MLB and my brother that played 9 years in the MLB and two-sport athlete in college. And I think within my nature and I've learned kind of a little bit about how to take a guy under your wing, right? So, there's dudes that are going to treat you like shit you're a senior and they're a freshman. You're going to bag on them hard and you're going to make their life tough. I used to take freshmen in and make sure they understood what it was like to be a Bronco and be a guy that they can lean on. So I don't know. Can't answer, what their relationship was like. They might have never even talked. You never really know. But I've just had a different perspective, and I've learned from some people of, what being a great teammate's like and what being a leader's like. And going back to your recruiting stuff, though, Johnny.
Yeah.
Boise State does it different. We're very hands-on with everybody, right? And I talked about that with Johnny, with BJ a couple weeks back, but you're absolutely right, man. I flew down to Texas, had some communication with the Genty's family and their coach. And who met me the next day and had dinner on their table? Tim Plow, and we were able to recruit him. And then you know what? About a month later, who was all in Texas? About 7 or 8 Boise State coaches were all in Texas. Again, meeting the Genty family, right? So, I mean, it's a collective deal, bro. And obviously the position coach is going to be kind of that point man. We're going to be the guys that are doing most of the FaceTiming. And, you know, I'm proud about bringing a guy like Genty into the program, but that doesn't mean that Tim Plow didn't have a significant impact in there. Coach Riddle had a significant impact in bringing Genty. Coach Avalos and the rest of the staff, defensive staff, had a significant impact in recruiting. It's a collective deal. You got to be all hands on deck. That's why you see pictures of all these coaches with one recruit, because any way we can find this little jet can take us from here and we can get 5 guys instead of 2, they're going to do it, man, because that's how the Bronco family does it.
Winston, will you have you called Andy or Plow in this case and said, Coach, I think I got this kid, but I'm the RB coach. I need you, head coach, coming in here, sitting on this couch and selling mom and dad for a guy like Genty too, which was such a good sign, Winston. Well done. Will you do that sometimes where you'll call the head coach and say, dude, I need you down here because I think we got this guy, but I need you to sign the deal on this thing?
Nah, it's understood, man. It's just a part. It's built in, right?
Well, the head coach only gets one visit too, right?
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, like you just said, they're limited, but it's a built-in deal, right? I mean, it's Wednesday nights. You know, hey, gotta get Coach Av on and FaceTime, right? But that's what I'm saying. It's not just Coach Av getting on the FaceTime. It's me taking that phone to Spencer Danielson and having him build a relationship with an Ashton Genty, and that's when recruits go, whoa. I'm talking to the D coordinator about life, about who he is, about his family. And that's a little bit of that separation factor there. And, you know, I said it on BJ's show the other day. It was like Colorado State. I only talked to the quarterback coach. It's like, because that was his area, you know, like you'd
and then
think.
Didn't you get an offer from UTEP over the phone on the voicemail?
Voicemail from UTEP. Hey, Winston Venable, you know, coach, blah, 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 would like to offer you a full scholarship. You know, it's like, never even talked to you. I don't even think I called them back. So Johnny, man, it's a collective deal, right? I didn't bring Genty in here alone. Coach Riddle, Coach Plow had everything to do with that. Coach Avalos had everything to do with that. It was a collective deal, and I think it'd be silly to say that you were the guy that brings in a recruit. I mean, there's a point man. Heck yeah, there's a point man, and there's a guy that builds most relationship with the guy, and he has to, because that's the guy that's going to be in the meeting room and all that. So. You know, it speaks volumes to having an offensive coordinator, and that's a little power, a little bit of juice that now that crew has as they're going and visiting people.
Well, we're going to have the two of you back on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to that. Again, playback.tv, by the way. Folks are by the way, guys, record viewership. We did make this one free, but we're by far the highest viewership we've ever had for a BNN After Dark show. And I'd say we're, aside from some of the post-game shows, maybe for football, we're up there as high as we've ever been. So people are really enjoying this. And Saturday, one more quick plug for Saturday. Let me add this to the screen here.
Let's go, Johnny.
Playback.tv/Bronco Nation News. Playback.tv/Bronco Nation News. It's totally free. You go on there and authenticate your cable provider. And then as you see on the right side, there's going to be a live chat going. You basically will watch the game together. And then in the second quarter, Johnny and Winston are going to pop on, and it'll basically be the Manning cast in the second quarter. So looking forward to that. That'll be the second quarter of the bowl game on Saturday. But you can watch the whole game in there. And we're hoping maybe Winston, we can make this a bigger deal next year where you can bring on the Hunter Whites of the world to watch the games with you and stuff. We're just going to kind of try it out for the bowl game and see where it goes. So it's playback.tv/Bronco Nation News. And Johnny, I know we've been having a really fun time doing this. We're going to keep having you doing your daily show on Mondays. We'll keep doing the basketball pregame shows, but I know you wanted to give some thoughts about hopefully having some people sign up and subscribe for our contest here.
Yeah, just kind of, this is just one of the many reasons to sign up for BNN, obviously, BJ. And people who have subscribed, no duh, I get it. You love it. But tell your friends about it. And this show, the first season, you hope is the worst season. I want to make this better in season 2. I feel like me and Winston are getting a better rapport with each other every single week. BJ, I work with you all the time. Winston works with you all the time. But for us three collectively to do this, and we have a whole off season to prep for guests next year. Maybe Winston can pull Chris Peterson. Maybe I can pull a Kellen Moore or something, BJ. Maybe we can make all that stuff happen, and I hope we do. And it's been a lot of fun doing this with you guys, man. And Winston, your recruiting stories, let me just throw this in, BJ. If that's not enough of a reason to subscribe to BNN, then I'm sorry, we can't help you. Go somewhere else, because him talking about the recruitment of Ashton Genty and passing the phone along to Spencer Danielson or telling Andy Avalos, hey, you need to sit on this couch. Enough of the FaceTime. Let's go sit on some couches here. Like, that's just golden stuff. And Winston, who's been in that building as a player and as a coach and still has a strong relationship with the OKG Bronco Nation community. BJ, I mean, yeah, dude. Yeah, you guys should sign up for BNN. It's
I appreciate the kind words, Johnny. And yeah, all it is $70. You got till December 31st, and the grand prize you see on the screen is a private jet for two to Las Vegas for the basketball game. You get to hang out with Matt Bauscher, stay the night in Vegas, and then get the private jet ride back. So go sign up. If you're already a subscriber, you can renew your subscription as well. We'd love to have you. We're giving away some weekly prizes as well, and that'll be the I think we have a snowboard this week, a Mick Ultra snowboard that you can have for yourself or somebody else for the holidays. So got a lot of folks on here to suggest. Right. We already got people suggesting guests for season 2. Jay Ajayi is on the list that people want. I know Kamale Correa, somebody had mentioned. I think we can probably pull that off. So looking forward to that. But quick tease, since I'm down here in Dallas, by the way, guys, for the bowl game, or Frisco to be exact. There are at least I think there's 3, but we've got 2 of them. I know we have Franklin Johnson, I believe, and there's another one. We've got 2 players that are Breezy Dubar, I believe, is the other one. Is he from down here in this area? I think he is. Me and Colin will be going tomorrow afternoon to their high schools and interviewing 2 of the commits. So check in. That'll be subscriber only. So if you want to get to the updates before signing day with a couple of the commits down here in the Frisco area, we'll be heading over to their high schools and interviewing them. So that should be fun as well. But Winston, I appreciate your time as always, man. Like I said, we'll do the next Wednesday show to wrap up the season. So we're not done yet.
Great.
And we'll talk to you Saturday. I can't be on with you guys because of the streaming rules being at the game. We've got Corey Hall, Tank Lawrence, Tyrone Crawford, Ian Johnson. We got a big list of people that they're suggesting for season 2. So I still think we can make it a monthly thing. I still think whether it's Peterson or whoever, I think we could do it once a month in the off season, or maybe bring it back during spring ball. We'll see we'll see, Johnny, if you can peddle enough subscriptions. We'll see if we can make it happen. But Winston, man, you brought the guests, man. This show wouldn't be possible without Winston bringing the guests and Winston bringing the stories, man. Whether it was the Doug Martin with the lighting the helmet on fire in the locker room, or whether it was some of the stories about the different houses, or George Iloka asking somebody to go tear down the street sign for him. We had some stories, man. It was a lot of fun, Winston, and we're gonna have to make sure there's a season 2.
Yeah, man, it was awesome, and once again, I've told you guys this before, but it gives some of my brothers a little voice and a little reminiscent, and those guys always appreciate it, and they had an awesome time doing it, man. And those are my guys. And, whether they're, they want to stay connected, man, as much as I do. And I want to give back to the Boise State program.
Yep.
This is a simple way that some of those guys can stay connected to Bronco Nation. And, we appreciate your platform for putting that on for them, man. And myself. So
Winston Venable, you were BNN After Dark. I think BJ would agree. It just wouldn't have been half the show without you, your stories, your guests, your experiences. So I'm already looking forward to season 2. I appreciate you guys. I got my freaking mom and my girlfriend yelling at me, man.
People want you to get them on camera, man.
They've refused. I'd love to put my girlfriend on. She's She's a good-looking woman. I'd love her to have this opportunity, but she's politely saying no, thank you.
Well, Winston and Johnny, we have our company appreciation dinner coming up, so maybe the wives and everybody can hang out and meet there. It's going to be fun in January.
That'd be great.
But, appreciate it again, everybody. Thanks to you guys. Go check out BroncoNationNews.com if you're on the fence about subscribing. Hopefully you will. And again, content coming all week from Frisco here, getting you set for the bowl game. Mike Prater and myself will be back 9 a.m. tomorrow to get you set for the game. So till tomorrow morning with Prater, have a great rest of your night. We'll talk to you soon. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.
Get ready for the time of your life at Circa Resort and Casino, Las Vegas's newest destination for fun, featuring the world's biggest poolside tailgate party with 3 levels of action, 6 pools, and a 143-foot screen. The fun is always on deck with all the games all year long. Stadium Swim, located in downtown Las Vegas on Fremont Street. Book the time of your life today at CircaLasVegas.com.